Hey guys, Brad here with Custom Offsets. Got another episode of Lifts and Levels for you. This is going to be a McGaughy's kit, 7 to 9 inch premium stainless kit. That one's tricky to see. There's a bunch of McGaughy's kits. This is the premium stainless kit. This is the top of the line kit that McGaughy's makes. This one's going to be for 14 to 18 GM 1500 trucks. This one's got all the bells and whistles, all the options. This customer's going to run it at 9 inches. So in order to do that, we always recommend getting the McGaughy's upper control arms, which are these bad boys here. Nice fabricated steel control arm with Moog bushings. Yep, they use Moog ball joints is what they use in the control arms. And then also for the rear, to lift the rear up, to make it level at 9 inches, you gotta get the add-a leaf, the optional add-a leaf. That would be these right here. Now let's go run through the rest of the kit. We obviously got our brand new knuckles here. These are real beefy units. These are McGaughy's own design knuckles. And that's gonna be the heart of the system up front. And there's a minimal, nice thing about McGaughy's kit too is there's actually a minimal track width change on this. I wanna say at 7 inches, I think there's pretty much zero track width increase on the front of the truck. And then at 9 inches, there's only like an inch or so or less of track width increase. One of the first things that you notice is with the McGaughy's kit is with their cross members, how tall they are. These actually measure 8 inches of drop on the cross members. So most 6-inch kits are about 4 inches of drop or so, but McGaughy's actually uses an 8-inch drop on the cross member to lower the lower control arms down. And then you'll see with their differential drop brackets, which are these pieces here, they also have about 7 inches or so if you measure them from the middle. If you measure from the big end, it's about 8 inches. So the cross members the differentials dropped about 8. I would say about 8 inches or so is how much they drop the front diff. So that's going to give you the nice CV axle angles when the truck's all the way up at 9 inches of lift. Then we got a lot of other components, as you can see here. We got some braces that actually will run in between the 2 lower cross members here to brace everything together. What else we got? We got some sway bar drop brackets. We got some brackets here as well for the kicker braces or compression struts, whatever you want to call them. That's another nice thing that people like is the premium stainless kit comes with these boxed compression struts or kicker braces, whatever you want to call them. And what these are is these will mount to the back of your lower control arm cross member. They'll mount to that and then mount to the frame. So it's just another brace that's bracing the whole front cradle assembly down, because when you start dropping these assemblies down, obviously the longer they are, the more drop there is, they'll want to move. They'll have more of a tendency to want to move. So bracing them like that is something that will help keep them from moving, because you don't want that kind of stuff to move. Up front, we got the McGaughy's struts here. So how these work is they got this little adjustable seat here and these notches, so you can actually move this up or down depending on where you want the truck to sit. All the way down 7 inches, all the way up is 9, and in the middle is 8 inches. This one's going to be set at 9 inches like I mentioned. Got the rear shocks as well. These are just like a standard twin tube shock that McGaughy's has. That's about it for the front components. There's kind of a lot going on here. And then I forgot to mention they do have a skid plate here for the front diff. And they got some CV axle spacers here. These are nice machined aluminum CV axle spacers. Some of the other kits will use a plastic spacer. And you can see by the size of them that there isn't much track width increase because of that. In the rear, they got a fabricated block. Of course, this is going to be the rear block. And then that would be level at 7 inches. And then to get to 9 inches, you got to run the add-a leaf, which we talked about before. My only gripe about this kit would be the U-bolts. So they give you new U-bolts for the rear, but as you can see, they're just raw, unfinished steel U-bolts. So here in this climate, those are going to be rusty in about a week. And then it's going to stain everything with rust, so we're going to have to paint those up. That's probably my only gripe about this kit. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get this installed, and then we'll check back in once it's on the truck. All right, so we got the McGaughy's kit installed on the truck here, the 7 to 9 inch. We're going to run through the components as they are installed so you can see how everything looks once it's all bolted together. So I've got new outer tie rods that McGaughy's includes in their kits, which is really nice. So you don't have to cut factory tie rods or mess with anything like that. You just simply install these new tie rod ends. We got our lower control arm drop brackets, as you can see here, that we talked about on the bench, that drop everything down 8 inches. Sway bar drop brackets, you can see those here. They're nice box ones with these cutouts in it. And then these are the compression struts that we talked about as well. Compression struts or kicker braces, whatever you want to call them. They run from the back of the lower control arm drop cross member here, and then they bolt up and to the cross member back here on the frame. The point of those is to brace everything together here, so these lower control arm drop brackets are dropped down so much that they're going to have a tendency to want to move more, so that's why they brace everything nicely like this. They also have these tie-in braces in the middle here. We'll have to get some shots of that under the CV axles that brace the drop cross members as well. And then you can see our differential drop brackets. What's nice about these is they drop the diff so much that you actually don't even have to trim the electric motor on the power steering rack. Some kits you have to trim those because the front diff isn't dropped. You know, if it's only dropped 3 or 4 inches, it'll actually want to interfere with this, so you have to trim that. On this kit you don't because it's dropped so much. And then you can see the CV axle spacers here, the billet aluminum spacers. And then obviously we got our McGaughy's new struts up front here. They're set all the way up for 9 inches. And then as well as the differential skid plate, which also kind of acts as a brace to tie the 2 cross members together, which is a nice piece. No new brake lines are needed up front. They do have you relocate the factory brake line. You can see it full droop. It's not tight or anything like that. They simply just move it out away from the factory frame here. And that's going to be pretty much it for the front of the truck. So moving to the back of the truck, we got the new McGaughy's blocks installed here. These are their fabricated blocks here. They don't use a cast block. And then we got the U-bolts, which we painted as well to prevent the corrosion from happening. Add leafs were added in the back here. That's going to be this bottom leaf spring that you'll see here. So you got a new center pin and then the add leaf on the bottom of the pack. It goes above the overload. Then we got the new shocks for the rear as well, and then that's pretty much it for the rear. They just had to have you bend the factory bracket for the rear brake lines, and then everything is good over there. You do relocate some of the parking brake lines to take the tension off those, the parking brake cables, I guess you would say, to take the tension off that. And that's going to be the whole rear kit for the McGaughy 7 to 9 inch.